Engineering is on the PTU 4.5, but in this video, I want to see how easy it is to solo a Corsair or a multi-crew ship, since these ships are intended to have multiple crew members. But how difficult is it to solo? Well, in this video, I want to see what happens. Maybe we catch fire or something really bad happens, but let's go take a look by fighting multiple ships at once and see what happens to our ship. We will be using the Corsair. I did max out all of its power. I also removed the turrets just to save a little bit of power here and there. You can see here at my power, I maxed out weapons, shields, thrusters, and obviously I have my coolers online. I am running stealth coolers, even though they're probably not the best anymore, but this will allow me to max out my build. I'm still testing out lots of things. I'm very new to engineering, but let's go see what we can do at this mission. But at our mission location here, before I engage targets, I'm going to play very passively, since this is a multi-crew craft and I have no idea what I'm in for really. You can see here, here's all my components. There are 100 at the moment. Everything is fine. My weapons needs a little bit of a tune-up, but everything is pretty decent. For the most part, I am running CF repeaters and I'm in game build mode. Let me take a look at the targets. So we've got a couple of targets here already. We've got a Scorpius and another Scorpius. So it's two Scorpiuses. There should be a couple more. You can see 3 more. It's hiding at the moment. Let me get a bit closer. A Scorpius is already on the way. Let's deal with our first Scorpius here. We'll see what we can do. Seems like multiple ships though. They're very loud at the moment. But I'm going to see if I can quickly deal with them. Usually they don't explode anymore, so you will need to take a look at how they're doing. Our shields is also very squishy at the moment. Even though we fly with a bigger ship, it feels like our shields is made out of paper. The Scorpius is pretty fast though. I'm trying to catch up with it. There we go. We've got our first ship. It exploded. So we probably got the power plant there. Next up is a Buccaneer. Lots of ballistics. Pretty far out though. Let me get a bit closer. Here we go. Pretty much in range. Luckily I have lots of capacitor for my weapons, so I can just pepper it. It probably doesn't have the biggest HP pool. I should be able to deal with this thing. It does have a lot of guns. So far my shield is holding up. But I have noticed my shields does drop quite fast. You can see it's red. Maybe it's disabled. Seems like it is. Eventually, if you disable the ship like this, it will just explode on its own. But I'll give it a little bit more love. There we go. I'll leave it there for now. We'll take a look if it explodes a little bit later. Let's go fight another Scorpius here. Seems like there's also a little arrow that's a bit closer. So I'll probably take on the arrow next. Here we go. The arrow is almost in range here. I'm going to pre-fire just a little bit, since they are small. Let's see if I can deal with this thing. You can see already my shields is down. Just from this ship here. Even though it's a little arrow, it took my shields down basically. My front shield. But we should have it here. We can see it's not flying at the moment. So we technically have it. We don't have to continue firing at it. I'm going to leave it there for now. Eventually it will probably explode. We don't have to overcommit. Let's go take a look at the other Scorpius here. There you can see on the radar the arrow disappeared. I think it exploded. So once you get them critical, they basically stop flying. And you can just leave them alone. Here we go with our next target. So far, not too difficult, but we did take them on one by one. I think this would be a different story if we were to fight them all at once. I will attempt it maybe, just so that we can see what happens. Super red now at the moment. I think we disabled it. It's not doing anything. I'm just going to sit here and see if it explodes, since we haven't seen one explode just yet. It's just drifting. About 40 seconds sometimes to explode. Let's take a look. And there we go. It exploded on its own. So that's basically what happens when a ship doesn't fly anymore. It goes critical and then just takes care of itself. Up next here, I believe it's a 400i. So let's see what we can do to it. Here we go. We're targeted. Let's see what we can do to this thing. Hopefully. It's pretty easy as well. Once the power plant goes, it usually goes. You can target it when you zoom in. But for the most part, not too difficult. Let's see if we can target it. If we get a little bit closer here. There is parts that we can target. But I'm a little bit too far away. These are still landing. It's pretty red though. Luckily we have a lot of damage. Even though we don't have a crew member managing our engineering. So far we're doing fine. But we haven't been taking a lot of damage. We can take damage now. Just get a bit closer here. You can see it's super red. Zoom in here a bit. It might be disabled at the moment. If we wait long enough, it might explode. I'm just going to wait a little bit. There we go. It exploded on its own. Just because it probably got fire inside or something happened with this power plant. So you can disable ships and it will explode. Let's go take a look around our ship to see if we got any damage. I'm just going to take out my tractor beam here. I do have an attachment to take a look at our components. Usually you just hover over your components and you can see the health. I have used this ship in the past before, so it's a little bit banged up. But for the most part, we should be pretty decent. You can see our components still full health. But I did play pretty passively. I didn't take on a lot of ships. Here at the back is our shield. You can see full health. And plus our coolers. So far, we're doing pretty decently. But for the next mission, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive and see if we're going to explode. I'm going to drive straight into everyone and see if I can handle it. Here we go. We're back at our mission location here. Let's see what ships we can find before we fly straight into them and take them on all at once. Seems like our main target is a Valkyrie. So lots of turrets. But I still want to take a look at the supporting ships. Here we go, we've got some of the supporting ships. Only a Hornet so far, but I believe there should be more. They're probably just hiding. There's all three of them. Seems like a Buccaneer. And a couple of other things, also a Cutlass. I'll probably take out the Cutlass first, just because they have ballistics. But on top of the Cutlass, let's take it out. Hopefully we can deal with it without taking too much damage. There should be about 3 ships on me. Look at my shields, already gone. The Cutlass should be done for. It's pretty red. Let's switch over to another ship here. Probably the Buccaneer next. Doing so much damage to me here. Just seeing if I can disable this thing before we get completely nuked. Also a Hornet, lots of damage. I believe we should be pretty decent here. Here we go, the Hornet. Also have ballistics, so we will need to take care of it. So that's about 3 ships we just took on, but look at my hull, super red. Shields don't last as long in this patch. Even though we have the best shields with the most amount of HP, we still need to be careful. Try my best here to get it. So far we're pretty red, but no fire on board yet, otherwise we would have heard it. You get a little alarm that tells you it. Seems like the Hornet is basically dead in most cases. But I can hear my hull is super damaged. All of them should explode eventually. Let me take on the Valkyrie next here. It seems pretty dead in the water at the moment. We'll see if it does anything. Sometimes they just sit there. But taking on 3 ships all at once. We'll take a look at the damage in a minute here. And the Valkyrie seems pretty dead in the water. So not really too much of a challenge. I'm just going to finish it off. And then we can take a look at all the components in the ship. There we go. The Valkyrie is done. Let's take a look at our own ship here. So for our own ship, we can hover over things with distracted beam. Let's take a look at the component health. Here is, I believe, the turret health. It's still pretty decent for the most part. I'll also go outside of the ship just to take a look. Good. Here we go. A power plant, still 100%. Cooler, still decent. It's a battery. Quantum drive, still decent as well. Here is the engineering terminal. We'll take a look at it in a minute. But first, let's see here, also 100. So far, pretty decent. I think we just took a little bit of hull damage. Nothing too crazy. Let's go to the engineering terminal. No fire yet, at least in this patch. Let's take a look here. Seems like our components is damaged. And cooling at the moment is bugged. It says offline, but it's not. But our armor, 0. Our hull, it's about 20%. So there you can see our hull health. Life support, 4%. So nothing too crazy. We're still in a very good condition. Let's go outside and see if we can repair some of the hull. I'm pretty sure it doesn't work correctly, but we'll take a look. We're outside here. Let's see if we can actually fix a little bit of our hull. It did say 20%. And I believe some of our hull is red here as well. I'll just give it a pepper every now and then. Repairs not needed. Let's take a look at the front. Here we go, 20%. Let's see if we can bring it up a bit. At the moment, it is a little bit bugged as well. As soon as you repair it, it says 100%. So definitely not the best. But I'll give everything a little bit of a repair. The front here, also, now it says 100. But I believe this is bugged as well. But for the most part, I think we fixed most of our ship. Let's go take a look at engineering again. If the hull actually increased. Here we go. You can see our hull at the moment here is 100. Even though we just gave it a couple of shots, we're still at 100%. So can you solo with the Corsair still? Well, definitely. I managed to do this. Even though not the biggest ships. Only 3 fighters that attacked me. We never caught fire. I have done this quite a few times actually. About 4 or 5 times now. Haven't caught fire once. I think if you're careful, you can definitely do it. Obviously, ideally, you want a crew member to take care of everything. But if you still have a Corsair or a multi-crew ship, you might still be able to solo it if you're very careful. This was just a quick look. This is very early PTU. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe. Thank you for watching.